Hey guys, Citroën here, and today I'm going to be testing the GT by Citroën in Asphalt 9 multiplayer at 2 stars. As you can see by that clip there, I did have a lot of fun with it. Please consider subscribing if you have not already, and be sure to check out my newly refreshed Citroën Clips channel as well as my Citroën TV channel and the Purple Team Discord. Links to all of those will be down in the description, and I hope you enjoy this video. So the first thing I'm sure you will notice about the GT by Citroën, if you know anything about the car, is that it starts up extremely slowly. At 2 stars, its acceleration is barely above 70, which is absolutely abysmal for any class, especially Class A, which is where this car is in. Now, this is why I tested the car in Slipstream, because this car is the perfect candidate for this kind of multiplayer season. And let me explain why. Slipstream mainly caters itself towards the high top speed cars. The GT by Citroën is the highest top speed car in all of Class A, and even at 2 stars, it is faster than pretty much every single other A-class car at max, which, well, in and of itself is a big achievement. And the other thing is, in Slipstream, the bad acceleration of the car does not actually really hurt it at all, and in some cases may actually help it. This may seem somewhat counterintuitive, but the thing is with Slipstream, in this car I always got slightly behind in the beginning so that I would be able to ride someone's Slipstream and get up to my top speed faster than pretty much everyone else in the race. So in a weird twisted turn of events, my slow acceleration actually turned into very fast acceleration. Also, this season being Ghost definitely did not hurt either, because sometimes I wasn't able to catch up to maybe a couple people by the 15-second mark, and thus I wouldn't have to worry about that when trying to pass them. So pretty much, whenever the Ghost Slipstream season came around, and then I saw that we had GT by Citroën packs and the event where I could get a bunch of them for free, I knew I just had to get this car, get it to 2 stars, so I could make it purple, and so the performance would be better, but that's secondary. Now, some people ask me, why did I go for GT by Citroën packs when packs for the Rimac C2 were just around the corner? The real answer to that is that I simply did not know those packs were coming. If I did know, I may or may not have gone for this car, but let's just pretend that wasn't the case, and I really wanted to get this car because, well, pretty much I've been wanting to get the GT by Citroën ever since it first came out in the Bugatti La Voiture Noire Drive Syndicate, because it felt like this mythical pay-to-win car that everybody was saying very bad things about due to its very poor acceleration, but also had the highest speed in Class A. So I was like, okay, what gives? It's either going to turn out to be very bad or very good. And I can say in Go Slipstream it turned out to be very good. Now in regular multiplayer, I don't expect this will happen. You are pretty much seeing this car in the one situation where it will do extremely good. And that leads me into my next part of the video, where I don't really think this car will do all that great in regular multiplayer, where you don't have Ghost, and especially where you don't have Slipstream. So this car is very focused toward one kind of season, namely Ghost Slipstream. In regular multiplayer, you'd run into a few problems. Even if you did have this car at a very high star count, the poor acceleration would cause you to drop very far behind in the beginning, and in a lot of cases, it won't actually be enough to catch up to some of the lower top speed cars that have better acceleration and possibly are more agile as well. Because that is the other thing, this car does not have great drifting. In fact, it is rather wide. The nitro efficiency is okay, could be better, is not the worst, but you can see here I'm pretty much going head to head with this VLF. He passes me at the very last second because, again, the poor acceleration of this car, and if you don't have a Slipstream to catch, it's not going to do super well. So that is sort of the comparison and contrast I will make with this car. It is very good in some situations, not so great in others. I have not actually tested this car yet in regular multiplayer, but I will definitely do so in the non-Slipstream season, just so I can see whether or not my theory is correct that it certainly won't be as good there. But based on what I've heard other people say, that seems to be correct. Now, I also recorded races in my newly fully upgraded 5-star Speedtail in the Go Slipstream season, mainly because it was the season going on at the time and I was really excited to test it out and I didn't want to wait for another season. So that will likely be my next Asphalt 9 video. And I found out that even though Slipstream is certainly not a season where the Speedtail should do super well, I mean, it isn't a really high top speed car. It goes 269 at 5 stars, which is certainly very good. I mean, it's as good as the Zendo or the Fenner or the Inferno or any other car like that. but you do run into cars like the Citroën or the Skool, which can go a lot faster than it. But what I did find is that even though I'm actually at a slight disadvantage in the Speedtail in a Slipstream season, I actually managed to do fairly well in it, and I was facing and beating a good number of Citroëns and Trions and Yeskos and cars like that, simply due to the car's very good drifting. It is a very good floaty car and punch drifting car, and it's just overall very well-rounded, which I can't really say about the Yesko. The Citroën's a bit more well-rounded, but it does have some issues with stability and nitro efficiency. And then the Yesko, on the other hand, just has bad nitro efficiency as well, pretty much. Speedtail doesn't. Nitro efficiency is great, drifting is great, everything about it is pretty great, so I'm certainly looking forward to making that video as well. But coming back to the GT by Citroën, it's kind of the opposite of the Speedtail in a lot of ways. And yet, I enjoy driving them both a lot in their own right. This is one of the cool things about Asphalt 9, in my opinion, is that all of the cars, well, not all of them, but many of the cars can just feel very different from each other. And so given the game's, big focus on momentum and everything, you have to drive each of the cars in different ways, which means to fully master this game, you really do have to master a lot of different driving styles, which I really like because it means it, in my opinion, is even more skill-based and even takes longer to master than Asphalt 8 did. Now, I know many people disagree with me on this, and that's fine. Asphalt 8 did have more of a focus on precision, where people would try to shave frames off their time. You don't really see that so much in Asphalt 9, because it's a lot more difficult in this game to actually do things exactly the same from race to race so that you even get within frames by doing the exact same thing. It's more of just improving your overall route, your overall momentum, and everything like that. I thoroughly enjoy both the driving mechanics of Asphalt 8 and of Asphalt 9, which again are both very different, but both very fun in their own right. One thing I noticed when doing my intro clip with this car's walk around, or whatever you want to call it, is that its front lights look a lot like the front lights of the new 2024 S650 Mustang, which I talked a little bit about on stream recently, but since people have been asking my thoughts, I'll give some of those now. Most of you know I drive a 2017 Mustang, and I like its looks better than this new model. I don't really care for the back especially, because currently the back has this cool black bar with the 3D lights on either side. In this new one, there's no black bar across the middle, I don't think at least, in cars that are not black. And then the lights are these weird like V-shaped ones that are barely even looking 3D anymore. And then the front, aside from the lights, just looks a bit boxy to me. So I don't hate it, but I don't love it either, which pretty much sums up my general review of the GT by Citroën as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, Minecraft, and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!